that is the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode number 94 of Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where four friends get together to celebrate the wonder of professional wrestling. I'm Adam and I'm joined in this futuristic world that is 2020 by Sam.
Hello, Adam. Sounded a little bit
Sound exactly as you always do.
So
by John.
futuristic. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
All right, yeah, Happy New Year. That's a much better choice.
And hello, Brett.
Hello. Yes, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everybody, especially you, listener. The last podcast we talked about
Listener?
was...
Just the one.
Listener.
Just you, Dave. You have a great time.
I'm making it personal.
Yeah.
The plural of listeners is listener. Wait.
What?
No, it's not.
No. Anyway, yeah, the last podcast we did was the WWE TLC 2019 review way back in December. Since then, we've had weeks off. And I want to know how, if at all, wrestling featured during your Christmases and New Year's. Brett, you kind of gave it away a little bit before we started recording. Did you watch any wrestling, talk about wrestling, think about wrestling?
No. I checked out for a bit. My wife Lucy, she has been watching a lot of Pac matches online.
Okay.
He's her new
Why?
favourite, so I've been hearing about Pac matches.
She's been packing them in.
Yeah.
Hey.
Boom. Decent cracker joke there. It sounds as if Lucy is more into wrestling than you these days, Brett.
Yeah, over Christmas she definitely was. I was like, I need to detox.
That's a very veiled way of asking whether we can replace someone on the pod, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should. She'd be far more entertaining.
Okay. Maybe we'll do that one week. Do you remember when we threatened as if it would be a bad thing, when we did the evolution review and we got all our other halves to do a little intro? That was fun.
That was fun.
Yes. Sam, what about you?
I've been watching NXT. Keeping
Oh,
up
okay.
with that.
Nice.
Other than that, I've not really watched much wrestling. But over the New Year's, I did kind of spend some time staring at my wallpaperer's table, just wondering when I'm finally going to follow through with my New Year's resolution of going through it. We're 3 years in now.
Well, we're all meeting up for the Rumble, right? Are we?
Yeah.
say we're
Yeah,
gonna
but
do
the thing
that?
is, right,
Yeah.
we always say we're going to do it. And then someone gets cold feet about possibly injuring me, and they stop.
I don't think I've ever said we're going to do it. Only you.
Yeah. And it's not so much injuring you, Sam. It's more like permanently making you disabled.
Yeah, it's also, I don't really care about you. I just don't want that on me.
Yeah. I don't want the
I'm
guilt.
not fussed about any of this. I really want to throw Sam through that table. I think we need to do
Maybe
it.
the Royal Rumble is the time.
Where are we watching that? Did we agree with
Around
whose house?
mine.
At yours. Perfect. You don't even need to move the table. Just get it set up. We'll walk in, shield bomb through the table.
I might set it up outside, but we'll worry about that at the time.
Okay, listeners, if after our Royal Rumble review we don't talk about that, then please remind us and tell us off, because we will do it. We put a video of us chopping each other on our YouTube, didn't we, a little while ago? And I thought that might have been the start of loads of great YouTube content, and there's been nothing since.
My chest still hurts, though.
It's because I'm a bad man.
I think that's unrelated. That's probably more your Christmas diet, Sam.
Yeah. John, what about your Christmas, wrestling-wise?
So
How did
I
it go?
watched the AEW show just before Christmas. I haven't watched the one since New Year. And I started watching that NXT episode where Rhea Ripley and Shayna Baszler, but I didn't finish it. I did make a Ric Flair joke at Christmas with my family, but it did not land well at all.
Would you care to recite it?
Yeah, come
I
on,
can't
set
remember
the scene.
exactly. It was a bit like someone fell over and it was a bit like Flair. And it made something like Flair flopping over the turnbuckle, but no one got it.
No, you need to pick your audience.
Yeah.
Save it. I mean, it's about time you did some jokes on here, so maybe you should plan some for this.
Oh, it's coming hot in the new decade.
Yeah. That's reminded me. I was about to say that I totally checked out and didn't watch anything, but I did watch the Shayna Baszler Rhea Ripley match on NXT. I didn't watch that whole episode, but I fast forwarded to that because I heard it was good, and it really was good. Such a great match, great result. Yes, but apart from that, I didn't do anything. I did talk when I was up in the Midlands over Christmas and went out with some of my wife's friends for like a lunchtime thing, and some of their kids were there, and I had a good chat with a 9-year-old about the current state of WWE.
Did you try to kind of get across like why they shouldn't be pushing Roman or anything like that?
He was telling me how he wants John Cena to come back, all while wearing John Cena wristbands, a John Cena t-shirt, and a John Cena baseball cap. Wow. So he's quite a big...
Never
you
saw
can't
that
argue
coming.
with marketing results, can you?
No.
Did you just yell Mark in his face and push him over?
I should have done. I should have put him through the pub table, but I think his parents wouldn't have been that impressed. But yeah, apart from that, I didn't really do much at all. So, I mean, I've got to say, we're going to talk about Wrestle Kingdom shortly. I did find it a little bit of a struggle to G myself up for this. Maybe partly because there was so much to watch, but we can talk about that.
Maybe going back into wrestling by watching 10 hours of Japanese wrestling.
Yeah.
The best way.
Yeah.
Adam, have you
Yes.
got previous at making kids do wrestling stuff at pubs? Or because I'm sure that you've once told us that you made your daughter eat glass at a pub.
No, I once looked down under the table to find my 2-year-old daughter had glass in her mouth, but
Jesus.
that had nothing to do with wrestling.
Was Paul Robinson there?
No, that was actually terrible, and I felt like an awful dad.
Cool. Well,
yeah,
that's on the record.
She's now hardcore champ at her nursery, so it's all worked out well. Anyway, should we have a break? Because I'm exhausted already. I don't know about you guys. And let's have a quick rest and then come back and talk about WrestleMania. No, Wrestle Kingdom. Fucked it already.
Let me tell you guys, that's the hardest part of the ring right there. That's where that steel goes down, and a lot of, I'm going to tell you, you don't want to land right there.
New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom 14 was held at the Tokyo Dome, a wonderful venue that you haven't been to, Sam? Or you have?
Nope. No, never been to the Tokyo. I've been to the theme park at the Tokyo Dome.
Oh, nice. And which venue have you seen New Japan Wrestling in Japan?
Osaka Joe Hall.
Okay, right. We need to get you to the Tokyo Dome next year. We'll do it.
I'm going back to Tokyo in February.
Perfect. The attendance was 40,008 on the first night, 30,063 on the second night, so a combined attendance of 70,071. Why were there 10,000 fewer on the second night? Any idea?
No, it's weird that, isn't it?
Minoru Suzuki got loose.
Because normally if it's a wrestling like weekender, if I can't do both nights, I will try and do the last night, because that's usually the night that stuff kicks off, right? Where all the main stuff happens.
Yeah.
It's a strange one. I reckon, though, that of the 40,000, the 30,000 who attended night 2 were probably there night 1. And
well,
then
yeah.
You have 10,000 looky-loos or something.
Maybe, 10,000 of them just had such an incredible time and just went out and partied hard, and then they just couldn't face it. But weird, who knows? The comms team was, obviously, we listened to the English commentary. So we got Kevin Kelly, Rocky Romero, Chris Charlton, and Juicy Gino Gambino.
Who was that guy? Juicy
Gino Gambino. He's basically like the Australian member of the Bullet Club.
Oh, he was pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked him.
Yeah, he's decent. He's a good heel commentator.
I love Rocky.
Yeah.
I think Rocky's
I
great
love
in comms.
Rocky.
I actually think the whole commentary team were excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than the 20 minutes they missed during the Jericho match.
Not their fault, though.
Hi, I'm Apron, the hardest part of the ring robot. Happy New Year. I didn't expect to speak to you so soon. As you will hear, Adam's mic stopped working and switched to his laptop mic, so he sounds different from this point forward. Bunch of amateurs.
Yes, so we did reference, John referenced the fact that it was 10 hours. We're essentially having to review 2 pay-per-views here, both of which were 5 hours long, or at least they were on New Japan World. What do we reckon? Are we fans of it being 2 days? Sam, I reckon you're going to be positive on it.
This is a weird one because I did really enjoy this, but I feel like if WWE had done it with the shit they sometimes put out, I wouldn't have enjoyed it.
2-day WrestleMania is going to happen.
And to be fair, like with New Japan, there is a clear point in their shows where you can skip. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, there's a point where, like, right now, the pay-per-view starts.
Yeah.
That's true. There is a lot of guff at the start and at the end.
Well, I thought the first
At the
night,
end.
certainly. Second night, that card was stacked.
Well, I'm just sorry, I'm not necessarily talking about the matches. I'm just talking about sometimes they just seem to have the cameras rolling on New Japan World.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
Yeah, sorry,
yes.
I'm not. I mean, that match, that Naito Okada match, what a load of guff. But yeah, so I mean, we should probably just crack on because there's loads to talk about. But before we get into it properly, there may be many a listener who perhaps don't watch New Japan very often. I am one of those kind of people. So Sam, who I'm not going to say he's an expert, but he definitely keeps tabs on it a little bit more than I do, is going to give us a little bit of info. Basically, what's been going on in New Japan and the current landscape.
So, yeah, basically, Wrestle Kingdom is essentially the WrestleMania of Japanese wrestling. So this is the biggest night of the year for those guys. And this was interesting because obviously it's the first time it's been split over 2 nights. And the key story going into Wrestle Kingdom this year was the Double Dash Champion, or the Double Gold Dash Champion. So it's a bit of a WrestleMania 6 title for title kind of deal.
Can I just check, Sam? Were you a massive fan of Mario Kart Double Dash?
Yes, I played a lot of it.
Yeah,
GameCube
GameCube's your favourite console of all time, right?
No.
Oh, no?
Dreamcast.
Of course. I'm an idiot. Sorry. Carry on. I'm so sorry.
It's awkward. Right, so Double Dash, you have basically 4 big people going into this. So you have the G1 winner, Kota Ibushi, and that's kind of standard. Like, you know, your G1 winner is basically the equivalent of like the Royal Rumble winner in WWE. They get a briefcase and they defend it a bunch of times, but they essentially get a title shot at Wrestle Kingdom. So you have Kota Ibushi, you got the reigning champion, in this case oh god,
yes,
it was always going to happen. It was always going to happen. Kazuchika Okada, who is basically like the most dominant champion in Japanese history. And then you've got the other side of the bracket, so the kind of intercontinental title. So on the one side, you've got Tetsuya Naito, who basically started all of this kind of double championship storyline. And just quickly as an aside, to fully appreciate like Naito's journey to this, you've actually got to go back to like Wrestle Kingdom 8 in 2014, but we're not going to get into that because that's a whole other story. Just to quickly paraphrase it though, Naito was set to headline Wrestle Kingdom having won the G1, and he was so unpopular at the time that he basically got ousted by a fan vote to make Tanahashi versus Nakamura the main event for the IC title.
Yes.
There's a huge story around this, and just as quickly, I would recommend, if you are interested in this or fascinated, go onto Dailymotion and watch The Fall and Rise of Tetsuya Naito by Showbuckle. It's incredible and just kind of explains everything. We'll put a link into the show notes. So,
Brett, remember to put a link into the show notes.
go back into the summer. Naito enters the G1 as the IC champion. So he stated the goal of becoming double champion, but he had a bit of a rough tournament and found himself victim to top heel and Bullet Club leader Jay White, who, as top heel, went out to steal Naito's goal of becoming first double champion. So Jay White gets to the final of the G1, but is defeated by Kota Ibushi. However, he then goes on to defeat Naito for the IC title at Destruction in Kobe in September. So all of these guys are kind of in the main event picture at this point. So this all comes to a boiling point at Power Struggle in November, when all 4 men basically faced off in the ring, and Okada, with a bit of a callback to Wrestle Kingdom 8, suggests the fans have a vote to see if they want to have like a double title match sort of deal on night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom. And kind of whether that whole fan vote thing is kayfabe or real, it basically went without saying that this was the course that New Japan was set on.
Right.
So yeah, the stage is set. You've got New Japan's top 4 competitors to duke it out in a winner-take-it-all mini-tournament. You've got Kota Ibushi, the G1 winner, Jay White, top heel in the company and the Intercontinental Champion, Naito, absolute fan favourite at this point, leader of Los Ingobernables de Japón, and Okada, who's the most dominant champion in the history of the company. So that's kind of your main story there.
Wow.
There's a few other bits and pieces. You've got
Nicely done.
Hiromu Takahashi returning from a broken neck earlier in the year. Amazing. You got an absolute dream matchup between 2 established veterans in Jericho and Hiroshi Tanahashi. You got the conclusion, basically, of the World Tag League, where the winners, Finn Juice, that's Juice Robinson and David Finlay, and not Finn Balor, as I keep thinking, taking on tag champions GOD. Jon Moxley returning to Japan to challenge for the US title that he never really lost. And most importantly, you got the final match of the legendary Jushin Thunder Liger.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on here for 2 days.
Huge amount.
Even one day.
Huge amount going on. Now, well, thanks, Sam, for that. I now feel
welcome.
pretty clued up. I really should have called you before I watched this. These matches would have made a lot more sense. We usually do the card now, but that's going to take half the podcast to read everything out. So just jump on Wikipedia if you want to see all the different matches. There was a pre-show, though, on... did you make a note, Sam, to say one of the matches on the pre-show was good?
Yeah, I haven't seen it actually, because I think it's a dark match rather than a pre-show one. But
okay.
The ladies from Stardom Wrestling had a kind of showcase tag team match, so that's kind of cool. Women's wrestling in New Japan or on New Japan, but still Stardom. So
yeah. Okay, cool, good stuff. So yeah, we have quite a lot to talk to. We have quite a lot to talk about. We have picked out key matches, and I think it makes sense to just focus on what is essentially the semi-finals and the final for the double gold dash. So we're going to talk about Naito versus Jay White, which was obviously an Intercontinental title match from night one. Then Ibushi versus Okada for the heavyweight title, also on night one. And then we'll talk about the result of those 2 matches, the resulting match that happened on night 2. So, Naito versus White. What do we think? John, do you like the match?
Yeah, it was amazing. I just want to talk about Jay White's beard.
Okay, this is the kind of content I want.
I was thinking about his beard, so I'm game for this.
Yeah, is it deliberately there to look like Gado's one?
Oh, good spot.
Oh, yeah,
They're
maybe.
so spindly and wiry and similar. It feels weird. It looks like Jay White's trying to be his son, but obviously that's not going to work.
I think it just it makes Jay White look better having a beard. I think.
Oh, definitely. He's got such a baby face without it.
Yeah, I like it.
He's got a great look with it, I think.
He's such a great heel, isn't he,
I like
Jay
the
White?
blue hair too. Look pretty cool.
Yeah. The ombre.
Okay,
Jay
hair chat
White
done.
has massively grown on me. Like, I couldn't stand him when he first came back from Excursion, and now I think he's a fantastic choice to lead the Bullet Club. He's so good.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't think he is a good choice. Like, I wouldn't know he's part of the Bullet Club.
Yeah, well, that's the part of his heel and him sort of joining, wasn't it? Wasn't he went somewhere else and then he went to Bullet Club and he took it over.
Yeah.
And
So-
he sort of feuded with Bullet Club, which then created the OG whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that is all quite confusing. But yeah, I think he's a great heel. He's definitely taken on the Jericho sort of, chatting a lot of shit during the match.
I love it. It's so
Yeah.
good. I like when he just plays dead in the middle of the ring, just when he's knackered and is like, well, I'm just going to lie there and laugh.
Yeah,
And
or
what are you gonna do
yeah,
about
his getting out of some of the finishes is just to
Yeah.
slump to the floor. Brilliant.
In fact, one of the things I really loved about this match, and I noticed this as well in the kind of match he had with Ibushi on night 2, is the kind of how the commentary keep referencing how good a kind of defensive wrestler he is, how kind of his entire thing doesn't seem to be like sustained offense or anything like that. It's basically being snake-like, but like the way he wrestles, he really kind of just does that. It's so good.
Yeah, I like this match. it's a difficult thing because it was obviously in the first night, and I've watched another 5 hours. Well, I haven't watched that much since then, but I've kind of forgotten some of what happened in this match. I think I've got more notes than some of the others.
Well, there was a great moment that I was like, oh my days, and it looked awful. It looked like really awful on the, not awfully as in bad, but like really painful in the real time thing. And then they did slow mo, and it still looked bad. Was when Jay White did a Sido suplex over the ropes onto the apron, and it just looked like ouch. That looked great.
And obviously, Gato was being dastardly, but we saw that the next night as well. So we get to talk about that in a bit in a match which is more recent in the memory. But I quite like all of that. I like them as a pairing.
Yeah, they work really well together, don't they?
Jay White has come on absolute leaps and bounds in such a short time. I'm really enjoying a lot of his stuff. I'm absolutely loving his submission finisher as well, the TTO. It's just something different and cool.
And what was the result? A foregone conclusion?
It kind of felt like it, didn't it, going into it? It kind of felt
Yeah.
it was never going to be Jay White challenging Okada for the double dash.
It did feel that like Naito was back on form as well, though, here, didn't it? Like,
Yes.
I haven't watched it. I haven't watched New Japan for a little bit, so I don't know. But like Naito did go off the boil a bit, and like he does. He sort of doesn't fancy it so much or whatever. But like he was on form, and the spitting and like just the intensity. It was amazing.
The spitting all over this pay-per-view.
Naito got through a lot of spit.
Yeah.
The one thing I would say with Jay White and kind of like expecting Naito to win is that kind of Jay White is obviously associated with Gedo, who is the head booker for New Japan and basically is deciding everything. And so kind of there's always been a lot of talk about how Jay White is getting the push and how Naito is getting buried. And that's kind of been like a lot of the story around Naito for a very long time, especially in the G1 where his performance really didn't live up to his contemporaries. And so kind of there was a lot of discussion around would Naito, get fucked over again by Gedo and the booking. And I think kind of what made his success so great was that it kind of really invoked that Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania underdog story.
Yeah, because the fans were so behind Naito, and they really hate Jay White, don't they?
Oh, massively.
They really don't like him.
It's so good. One of the other things I really do enjoy about the Jay White stuff is his feud with Rocky Romero and their constant backwards and forwards.
I love always chatty. He's very chatty in the ring, isn't he, Jay White?
Yeah,
It's weird,
that's
weird hearing
excellent.
it in like a New Zealand accent. Strange.
It is.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was just an excellent match. Just a real classic good guy v bad guy story told really well.
Yeah. Thought it was, very solid, very good. I mean, it's one of those matches that if you'd seen it on many other cards, it probably would have been the standout match.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
Easily,
There were
yeah.
so many other great matches happening. Perhaps it didn't stand out as much as it could have. The other match, the next match we're going to talk about, I've called it a semi-final. Nobody else has called it that because it isn't a tournament. But we had, obviously, Kota Ibushi, podcast favourite. Everybody loves Kota Ibushi versus Okada. I think a few people are aware of him for the heavyweight championship. And bloody hell.
Holy shit.
This was as brutal as it gets. Like, I totally understood where John was coming from with the neck pain sympathy.
Yeah, there was all sorts of crazy neck bumps across the two nights, but this match,
pole drivers in this one were just scary.
I absolutely love Kota Ibushi. His fugue state kind of psycho mode
Yeah,
at
that's
the
he's
moment
an android.
isn't
I
it?
think he's an android.
incredible.
That was so.
It's so good.
It almost was like you sort of knew it wasn't because he's, he is such a veteran and amazing, but you always felt like, shit, something happened and he's like beating him up now. Like it really had that feeling.
Those
like he was just like
fist
going for it.
punches. Oh,
They
my
sounded
God.
awful, didn't they? It just sounded like he was punching some steak or something. It was
So painful. The
Yeah.
crowd started booing him.
Yeah, they really did. And Okada sort of like was really looking like he was protecting his face. He was like, I really need to cover up for this.
I've always kind of thought of Brock Lesnar as the hardest man in wrestling, but you see Kota Ibushi just all of a sudden go like that, and you're just a little bit like
that
he?
palm strike to the chest. Like the first thing he did was just like you just felt it like probably, knock the ghost out of Okada at that point.
So amazing. Not only that, the selling or the no selling, just the
Yeah.
taking these massive chops and just not even reacting. Incredible stuff.
He is a crazy.
I love the fact that he
runner.
also decides to completely put himself through the mill as well and totally damage himself when he did that backflip kick. And I think Okada was supposed to catch him.
Oh,
and
he landed on
he
his
just
head.
lands on his head.
Oh my days.
Oh,
These guys
what a
must do a
match.
lot of gym work on their necks. All of them.
Yeah,
Every
they
single
do.
person.
They
do
famously
in
do
Japan,
in the New
It's
Japan
just
dojo.
Intense. I'd love to watch the workouts they do. I'd love to know what kind of workouts they did. I hurt my neck the other week playing football, and I was basically out of action for about 4 or 5 weeks. But
Yeah.
all I did was tackle somebody, and it just felt a bit funny. I mean, these guys, unbelievable.
I messed something up in training, before Christmas, so I think early December, and I've not been back since because it was just whiplash or something. But it is keeping me up at night. I can't
You need
sleep.
to you
So
need a hench neck.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was just something which was nothing like what they went through, and I was just like, oh my days.
Never skip neck day, Brett.
When's
It's
neck
been a
day?
I
public
thought my
service announcement.
my fat neck would come in use, but no.
No, unfortunately not.
And again, going back quickly to this match, kind of before we go back to the next chat, which is I want to
That's
hear
key.
more.
But yeah, go back to the match. Go on.
Just the amount of callbacks that Ibushi was throwing out here with the Bomber and the V trigger at the
Yeah.
end. And
Yeah, that was
his
nice.
Phoenix Splash is just the most gorgeous move in all of wrestling.
I love the. Is it a Kamigoye?
The Kamigoye, his finisher.
Yeah, is that what it's
An
called?
amazing move.
That
Yes.
looked amazing. And but he had the kick out. There was a kick out for that, wasn't there? And then
Yeah.
but then he regained. No, who was it? Okada had wrist control of him and then did the drop kick. That looked amazing.
And this is the thing, is that kind of wax lyrical about Ibushi. Okada is just...
I know
He just does everything perfect.
it almost
Yeah.
gets boring about how amazing he is. He's on a different level to everyone else.
It's the
So
progress through the
incredible.
match as well is pitch perfect. It builds, it builds.
Yeah,
builds.
he's
It's
not the
just-
fastest wrestler in the world, but he just knows how to pace a match perfectly and tell an amazing story. At the end of it, the near falls in this and the main event on the second night were insane.
Yeah, always pitches to a perfect crescendo. I always think, for me, Okada is like a Randy Orton who wants to put the effort in.
Yeah, he doesn't have a massive move set. He just has a few key moves that he nails, and just the pacing
but,
of it all. Oh.
Even I know, obviously he's famous for his drop kicks, but they in this match they really felt like they were a special move, not just a run of the mill move.
Yeah. There was one point where Okada was running the ropes and the camera angle caught him at an angle which just looked like he was running like a train, just
he
straight
was
into Ibushi.
so fast,
Just
across.
insane.
Yeah, he is amazing.
Yeah, incredible match this. Really enjoyed every moment of it.
Yeah, I think it was my second favourite of the weekend.
I'm going to throw it out here. This was my favourite of the weekend.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I
Second
am
favourite for me
actually
as well,
with Sam
actually.
on this.
Yeah.
Second favourite.
I wonder if John,
split.
are we going to be talking about your favourite next? Because my favourite is coming up later.
Oh, mine's coming up later
Ooh.
as well.
Oh, John,
Oh,
so much in common. It's going to be the same match.
I
This is
think I
it
know
is,
what
yeah,
match that
definitely
is
is.
as well.
Okay, well, let's talk about nobody's favourite match. It's the main event of the second night, the final, as we are calling it. Naito versus Okada, title versus title. The funny thing is, I sent something on our WhatsApp group saying, I've seen a spoiler for the main event. And it was because I Googled something for Wrestle Kingdom and I saw first double champion or confirmed or something. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then I slowly realised that doesn't actually reveal anything.
Yeah, whoever won would have been the double
Yeah,
champion.
exactly.
Nice.
So, yeah, I didn't actually have any spoilers, but
Oh,
yeah,
for fuck's sake, there's a double champion.
I can't believe it. But yeah, this was a huge match. I mean, there's loads of history, as Sam talked about a little bit beforehand. And I feel as if for the diehard New Japan fan, this would have been a massive deal. For me, it was a really, really good match. I thought it was a bit of I mean, like so often with some of these New Japan main events, when they're sort of 40-minute long matches, the first 5-10 minutes, pretty slow and steady, not really anything happening. I prefer a little bit of a quicker start. I do get it. But yeah, it was a good match. But you guys, bigger New Japan fans, really into it?
Yeah, I'd say the last half of this match was near perfect. Like, it was phenomenal. My favourite bit is where
as well.
Okada shoved Naito's knee into the mat and all the crowd booed.
Yeah.
And Okada sort of played up to the crowd and then did it again. I thought, Okada, you genius.
Yeah.
I thought, we know obviously Japan crowds do get noisy, but it's like a different thingy, and I know the wrestlers don't always so much hear it, like I think Jericho was saying, but like during this, they were the loudest I've seen.
Yeah.
In New Japan, and they like elevated it to that, like, you really were watching two heavyweight sort of main eventers here.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
This was a total clash of titans.
Yeah.
It was Ultimate Warrior Hulk Hogan.
The comms team did a great job. You said that they've done it, throughout the event, but in particular in this match, selling the history of their rivalry they did it
absolutely. In fact, kind of one of the best whole parts of this for me was towards the end of the match. So Naito and Okada main evented Wrestle Kingdom 12 2 years ago, and famously, when Naito was about to win, he basically took a huge risk on the Stardust Press, which was his old finisher. Or the Stardust Crash? Not sure.
Press,
and
I think.
He misses it in Wrestle Kingdom 12, and that basically led to Okada getting Tombstone Rainmaker pin. And so the end of this match, kind of Naito goes up for the Stardust Press, and the comms team are going nuts. Everyone's going like, "Don't do it! This is you're gonna fuck it." And he nails it, and it's such a cathartic moment for everyone.
Really
that kick out though was amazing by Okada at that point.
It was an amazing kick out, but at that point when he hit that Stardust Press, I was like, Naito's winning this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
sure.
I actually wasn't sure. I hadn't seen anything. I didn't know, because Okada is like their guy. But when he hit that, I was like, yes, this means it. He's going to do it.
Yeah.
I
but
thought
then
that too.
You say Okada kicked out, and it was
Yeah.
like, no.
Well, when Okada kicked out, I was like, that's it. Okada's winning. This is no way. Naito's got nothing left in the locker. It's done.
The thing is, this whole weekend was full of matches where kickouts. Basically, there were about 10 kickouts per match, or especially these big ones. I promise you, I'm not criticising. Like the drama they can build in these matches is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But so many of them, it's like your nerves are in shreds because you're like, yeah, this is it. Oh no, it's a kick out. Yeah, this is it. Oh no, yeah, this is it. And they just kept on happening. But it was beautiful. I mean, I loved the bit just before that particular kick out where we had the Rainmaker, but then Naito did the Destino, but then they said that like he jammed his knee and that made him hesitate slightly before going for the pin.
Yes.
And that led to the 2 count instead of the 3. That was really cool.
It's just excellent storytelling. It's long form, very much so in the New Japan world, but it just kind of, when it pays off so well. Can we talk about post-match as well?
Oh yeah.
Skipped most of it, but we can give it a go.
So, do you know what happened, John?
Yeah, I saw Kenta, who looks like he's enjoyed quite the Christmas. Come try and
He's not eligible for 205 Live anymore. But holy shit, I've not heard heat like that in New Japan.
Yeah, so this is interesting.
Ever.
Because I didn't really realise what a big part Kenta was set to play. So obviously Naito got both belts. He did a little bit of a speech, didn't he? I mean, you should say beforehand the fact that he sort of did that thing where he was like, I think we should do this again. And then Okada...
Oh, that was a great
Okada
moment.
raises his fist.
That was an amazing shot.
Yeah. But then, Kenta comes out. So why is he such a big deal now?
All right, so Kenta is, in the bigger scheme of things, not actually a big deal. He's important. I reckon the reason Kenta is kind of feuding with him now is it kind of gives Naito, for lack of a better way of putting it, an easy first win. Like, Kenta is not going to be winning the IWGP Heavyweight title anytime soon. Maybe, I don't know. But it's kind of, I think, for Naito to have a fairly straightforward defence, to be honest.
It seemed kind of weird to me to not let Naito have his moment more.
Enjoy his
Yeah,
moment.
it does seem brutal. Just do it at the New Year's Dash. Seems better.
Yeah.
It?
Yeah. I genuinely would take that as a fair criticism of this, because I think kind of there's sort of a time and a place for a coronation-esque moment, and perhaps this was it. But at the same time, you know, it shocked, it impressed, it kept people guessing, it kept people booing, which in the bigger scheme of things is sort of what they want to do as a wrestling company. So, you know, perhaps it was a wise move.
I think this could be a great matchup as well.
Yeah.
Like, I know you say like it's an
definitely.
easy win, but this is going to have some great...
Oh, it's going to be stiff as fuck.
Did you see his match with Goto? Good lord. Happy Slap Central.
Happy slap. Oh, God.
Incredible. I'm wondering how tranquilo are LIJ just to kind of sit out back and watch Magic
I
get the
know.
shit kicked out of him.
I know.
Very weird.
And then eventually Bushi rocks up. Bushi.
I know, and Kenta was still there.
Out
and
of all of LIJ.
he didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have said Takagi out.
Yeah, for sure. That would have been full on. But no, this was an excellent match. Just an amazing trio of matches that I really enjoyed. What a great way to start off the year.
Like the standard of wrestling in most of the matches on a wrestling, but these three was off the charts.
In a way, I think it's kind of a bit of a problem because as if it's a problem having this quality of wrestling. But because everybody has been away for Christmas, I kind of need to warm up with a couple of like B-level WWE pay-per-views before I get spoiled with this incredible
You need a
wrestling.
stomping ground.
I do. Bring back a Great Balls of Fire or something, and then.
Hey, Great Balls of Fire was all right.
But give me this in like a month when I'm desperate for some good wrestling. Because honestly, I was watching some of this and I was like, wow, this is amazing. But I don't feel as hyped as I feel like I should. I feel like I'm being totally spoiled here. But yeah.
Wrestle Kingdom for me is like one of the big ones that I look forward to in the year every year.
Do you always are you desperate for Christmas to be over so you can get to Wrestle Kingdom?
I'm sort of always looking forward to the beginning of January just for Wrestle Kingdom. A part of which as well, because I can actually watch it when it's live.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah, I was really cocky about this because I thought it's over the weekend. I can fit it in before the pod. And then cut to me like 2 a.m. Monday morning, just like,
I know.
Man, does anyone else feel like when they said they were going to put it over 2 nights, everyone had the idea of, oh, cool, 3 hours one night, 3 hours the other night, not 10 hours.
Yeah, definitely. I hope WWE don't get ideas from this.
could you imagine?
They will though.
Oh god, it'll be
will.
so much garbage.
Oh, yeah, eventually WrestleMania will be a 2-day event.
It
Without,
will be.
I'm so sure.
It kind of
it
is with NXT though, isn't it? I guess.
It's a good point, to be fair.
Okay, well, those are the 3 key matches we picked out, but there are many other good matches, which are important matches as well, that we're going to talk about. So we're going to move on to best of the rest. We are going to pick out some of our favourite other matches, and I think we'll start with night 1 first, just to keep it chronological. Brett, night 1 match, which would you want to pick out, and is it going to be John's favourite and my favourite?
It's got to be the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Hiromu.
Yes.
The Punk Peacock.
Oh yeah, I wrote down Neon Peacock.
Yeah, against Ospreay in his Phoenix Suns coloured attire. What
Massive
a
snow leopard on his shoulder.
absolute match! Like the quality, the speed these guys can work is just obscene.
I was lucky enough to watch this match with a person who doesn't watch wrestling.
Right.
I was so happy to basically sit there and I was like, just watch this, man. You'll enjoy it. And he's like, oh, it's wrestling. It's just men pretending to punch each other. And I was like, just watch. The first thing that happens, Ospreay does like a Sasuke special, misses it, runs back into the ring, does another one.
No.
Yeah.
My friend was
Was
just
that
like,
the sequence where Hiromu went to like
German him as well.
throw
Belly
him
to
back
belly.
into the ring.
suplex him? Yeah, and he like floats into the ring and the roll, and then runs. It's
Incredible
like,
stuff.
they nailed everything.
Apparently, Ospreay broke his heel in that move in the second landing. And then,
Really?
And then, well, there's a rumor, or he's definitely got an injury after that match. But they say it potentially happened there.
That was one of the best sequences I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So fast.
How
the
he
thing-
throws him in.
With these two guys, and like it's great seeing Hiromu and seeing how amazing he always was, but like you see a lot of the sequences that they do where there's like, you know, they're both countering a lot and, you know, missing this, missing that and thingy, and like it looks, you know, like yes, it looks great, but it doesn't always come off like they're actually countering it. You know, it's like it does get a bit routine and like it's expected, but these two guys are so on it that it looks legit.
Yeah,
like,
I know what you mean.
Their brains are firing fast enough, and it's so smooth that it looks like they are actually responding to each other at the moment, as opposed to you know, like a choreographed scene. It's just so good.
Those opening sequences were just beautiful, really. And I think like, this was 25 minutes.
Was it really? God, I felt like half that, didn't it? It was so quick.
Yeah. It was just so good, though. I love a fast-paced start to a match. And you just knew as soon as they started, as soon as Ospreay was just, you know, twiddling himself around on Hiromu's back right at the start there, you're like, this is going to be great. You know this is going to be great. You know it's going to be innovative. You know it's going to be really fast, full of pace. And the fact that Ospreay can go to the ground and then jump straight back up as quick as he can, and he's flying all over the place. He makes it look so easy. It's amazing.
I kind of hope now for Ospreay, this is it for him in the junior.
Yeah, he's got to move
heavyweight.
up. He's got to move up, hasn't he?
He has completed junior heavyweight wrestling.
Yeah.
And is arguably the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah, well, he's all round. Like, yes, obviously he can do all this fast stuff, but like he can do everything in the ring. So he can do those, you know, those matches. You know, he can replace Jay White or whoever in those that top tier and be going for the main belt. Definitely.
He reminds me so much of when Kenny Omega was a junior heavyweight in New Japan, and he kind of hit that similar status of basically being just so dominant and so far and away the absolute best junior heavyweight that the only place for him to go was up to the heavyweights.
Yeah.
So wrestling, eh?
I think we all just totally agreed, Sam. There was nothing more to be said.
Yeah, we agree with you, Sam.
Yeah, totally.
Takahashi with a new finisher.
Oh, I tell you what, after he
Time
hit
Bomb
that,
2.
after he hit that, I had to Google whether Will Ospreay was all right. Like, did he break it? He sold that, and it looked nasty. Like, he sold it like a bloody trooper.
Was it that point that old was it Gambino or someone said like he's dead? I can't remember. At one point it's like he's dead or he's killed him.
That's pretty much the only thing that some of these wrestlers have got to come next. I mean, they can't really put themselves through anything else. It's just going to be death. They're going to be out the back. They're going to be going through the match. Like, well, I don't know how we're going to build up on last year. It's going to be like, well, I'm just going to have to die. And the other guy's going to be like, I think you're right.
There was a part of me that thought if the final was going to be Naito versus Ibushi, we're going to see someone pass away.
Didn't we see that match? Was it 2 years ago in the G1?
That was
G1.
No, that was this year's G1.
Oh, was it this? No,
I think it was the year before last.
I thought it was this year.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was the year before last.
Didn't he do like a pile driver off?
Oh yeah, it was last year.
Yeah,
Right,
that was
or
that.
something.
No, there was an event
Mental.
recently though where Naito German suplexed Ibushi on the apron and Ibushi captured his neck.
Oh yeah,
caught
there
his
was
neck.
that match.
Captured
Yeah,
it.
that was a
He
different
just
one.
captured it and took it away and held it hostage.
Caught his neck on the apron and probably broke the ring, to be fair.
Yeah, that looked nasty as.
Unbelievable.
Keep Naito and Ibushi apart from each other, and keep Ospreay and Takahashi apart now. Have them do some different stuff. There's a lot of talent in that junior division, and there's a lot of talent in the heavyweight division for Ospreay to go on and beat up.
Very true. Okay, other night one highlights. I mean, there is loads in there, but we don't want to spend too long. But anything else in there, Sam?
Yeah, do you know what, actually? I really enjoyed Archer versus Moxley.
Me too. I enjoyed that match.
Really good match. Perhaps not the most hardcore of Texas Death matches,
I think that's why I liked it though.
Yeah.
but just a really good match. I think kind of Lance Archer has come along massively.
I think this is where I'm different from everyone. Like I liked that old Moxley one, but I don't like. I don't think he's bad. I just don't like his thing.
Don't like him taking out the young lions at the start and using a young lion as a weapon.
That's class. I love
No,
that.
that's Suzuki's
Yeah.
place.
No, I think you're...
Yeah, but
Don't mess
Archer's
with what
kind of like his
Suzuki's
student,
place is.
isn't he?
Yeah.
I can't stand the EBD claw. That's a shit move.
Even with the plastic bag?
Also shit move.
Oh, I liked it with the plastic bag. I thought that was cool.
It was a bit shit because you could see he was clearly keeping it off his mouth.
I mean,
Yeah.
he wasn't actually trying to kill him.
No, I know, but
I mean, it just seemed like a last minute idea to me. Just like kind of Archer's in the back, like, what have I got? What? Oh,
what's that floating?
got a plastic bag in
That's
the
the
pocket.
most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, when he tore out the plastic bag, I was like, oh shit, tax, things are about to get real. And it was like, oh,
Oh, it's empty.
no, it's just a plastic bag.
Yeah, they've all
Okay.
fallen out into his pocket.
But I thought this was a good match nonetheless. I like the rules, actually, the fact that you could be submitted or counted out, but not pinned.
Yeah, and for New Japan, it's quite extreme, right? Am I right in saying? Because I think
Yeah,
they wouldn't
New Japan
usually
don't
have
normally
a
do
Texas
gimmick
death match, would
matches.
they? No.
No. But did anyone see the cut that Archer took at the end after he'd gone through the table?
Oh,
No, I heard them talking about it,
yeah,
but I
on
didn't
his
get
arm.
to
Yeah,
see
yeah,
it.
Wow. Oof, that looked nasty.
The Death Rider through 2 tables. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, those Japanese tables are killers.
Yeah, I don't think they look much different from Sam's decorating table that we're going to put him through at the Rumble.
Don't say that.
You need to get another
God.
one. And I need to practice my Death Riders.
Okay, cool.
Good.
Good match.
John, have you got anything else to say about night one?
No, not from night one. I think that's everything. I have to be honest, I skipped the first few matches.
Yeah, I skipped quite a few. I didn't watch any of the tag or multi-man matches at all, purely because of time. But even if I'd had the time, I don't know if I would have watched 10 hours of wrestling. I just don't know.
Yeah. No, I think that's completely fair, to be honest.
I think, but last year I did watch every match, and the year before I watched every match because it's just like, okay, I've got to watch 3.5, 4 hours or whatever it was. We'll do it.
I think one of the nicer things about New Japan is that you don't have to watch the whole pay-per-view to get the idea of what's happening. Like, kind of, it feels like every story is very self-contained.
Yeah.
So you can jump in at like an hour or 2 hours in.
I think the whole like their whole being a sport angle as well, like, you don't actually need to see like any tape like building up the match either, like, because the way the matches play out, you can just drop into that match and it works. You're not missing
the
out.
commentary. The commentary do such a good job on carrying that, like kind of giving like match records and previous meetings between them.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, let's move to night 2 then for Best of the Rest. I'm going to start with a match that features 2 people that we haven't talked about yet, because there are obviously matches with people we've seen. But I've got to pick out one of my standout moments from the whole weekend, which is the Fukahashi and Flex from Chris Jericho at the start of that match. Fukahashi and then just flexing his muscles is incredible. You just knew you were in for a wild ride.
That match was far better than it had any right to be.
I when it started, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm really up for this. I don't think. And then by the end, I was like, yeah, this is great. I loved it.
I am slightly over the sort of, I don't know, this is not going to be a popular opinion, but like the slow-paced Jericho comeback matches, swearing at the cameras kind of stuff. I think he's hilarious still, but in terms of his actual matches, I don't necessarily think he's delivering much variety. But then I suppose I shouldn't be surprised at the age he's at.
I would disagree with that. I think this match was great, and like his match with Jungle Boy was different and great as well.
I didn't actually watch that. I read about it.
This match with Jungle Boy was really good, actually. I enjoyed that a lot.
I think he could do a lot of different stuff. And despite the fact he's got a physique where it looks like you've got loads of angry badgers in a bag, he still does stuff where you're like, wow, the guy can still move.
Jericho has recently kicked off about being body shamed on this.
On this
Did
podcast?
anyone else hear him? Well, yes,
John.
specifically about this podcast by John.
It's a compliment.
No, he's kicked off about being body shamed, but at the same time did call Juicy Gino Gambino a fat fuck before knocking out the commentary for most of the match.
Yeah, that confused me when that happened.
But yeah, man, I enjoyed this. I really like the fact that they kind of lent into the AEW stuff.
Yeah, that was cool. That definitely added a bit of extra. Oh my god, what if Tanahashi wins this?
I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's an exciting prospect. That kind of potential is there.
That's what I was like most excited about, Tanahashi potentially winning it.
Getting
But
his
it didn't
title shot. Yeah, I was excited about that too. But I mean, I've read some things saying at least it's sort of showing that there is the starts of some sort of relationship between the two companies there.
It feels like it would benefit both of them, like loads, doesn't it?
Yeah, that would be huge for AEW.
But we don't. I mean, would you want it to go the? Would you want it to be a similar kind of relationship to the sort of thing that Rev Pro have got, whereby I don't know, it is quite different, but obviously Rev Pro, a lot of their big events, they rely quite heavily on New Japan talent to sell tickets.
I would say that kind of one of the best things about New Japan is their openness to kind of name check and work with other companies. Like you had the Ring of Honor TV champion on their show as well yesterday, or whenever it was. And kind of they will happily acknowledge there is other wrestling in the world. Like,
yeah. I
it's
think
one of the
it
best
makes
things
it
about New Japan.
better for wrestling promotions in general. Like, you know, especially when they've got their set rosters, having that cross pollination makes it like, you know, that can make for such interesting matchups that you won't get to see.
As long as they're retaining,
super exciting.
Yeah, as long as they're retaining their characters and their, you know, whatever's going on, rather than, you know, like the independent scene
Changing
where you've got somebody being a heel somewhere and a face somewhere else.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that can happen. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, is there much more to say about that match? And we're big fans of the air guitar stuff that Jericho was doing.
Yeah, brilliant. Loved it.
And I thought the crowd was really loud for this, particularly during the second lion tamer. It was really loud.
Oh, both those lion tamer spots I thought were brilliant. Like the way Tanahashi was selling it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like really anguish in his face. Loved it.
Also, really enjoyed Tanahashi's cocky pin. Just going for that old Jericho spot. One leg on them, do the flex, and yeah, baby.
Yes. Yeah, that was good.
Excellent stuff.
Good match.
Good match. Let's talk about another good Night 2 match. Brett, do you want to pick one out?
For me, I guess it would have to be Zack Sabre versus Sonata.
Brett.
Two technical wizards.
Okay.
And it's great, like, seeing Sonata go up against Zack a few times, because he is, like, you know, as much as we see him do the moonsault and stuff, actually he is really technical.
Sonata is slowly becoming a bit of a New Japan bridesmaid.
He
is
a free agent, isn't he? I think soon.
Is he? Holy shit, that would be huge.
I read that somewhere.
Wow.
Anyway, we were talking about near falls. There were about 20 near falls in the first 6 seconds of this match.
Yes. I think actually there was at one point where they were doing like the roll back and forth stuff where Zack Sabre just like did the bit he did himself with Sonata had missed like one spot of that sequence, but Zack just did it on his own, and then Sonata caught up. Which was like, it's so good.
I absolutely
so
loved this match. It was so fast and so technical. It was
incredible talents, both of these guys.
Yeah, good. Loved it.
I didn't watch it.
I love the final. Oh, no way.
Yeah.
It's
really?
definitely worth going back to watch this one.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal.
It's not that long a match.
Yeah.
It's only about 10 minutes.
I wanted to watch it, and then it was one where John said, watch it if you've got time. And then I basically only finished the main event today, like 10 minutes before I had to go and pick up my daughter. So I just didn't have the time for it. But yeah, I think I will go back.
Absolutely love that final pin that Zack Sabre Jr. lands. The one where he crosses the arm, does the head.
Yes.
Kind of does the
I can
bridge.
totally picture
Just
that.
an amazing
I've seen
move.
that before.
Yeah. Love it.
Okay, Sam, have you got another match from Night 2?
The match was okay, but my favourite moment from Night 2, perhaps all of Wrestle Kingdom, was John Moxley. He's just defeated Juice Robinson, retained the US title, and the commentary are bigging it up. You know, who's going to possibly challenge John Moxley for the US title? And then my favourite opening theme, Minoru Suzuki comes out with that psycho grin on his face.
Amazing.
What a moment. I literally jumped out of my sofa and screamed like a little baby.
This gave me chills,
so
this
much.
moment.
In his tracksuit that he walks down and then he starts taking it off.
When the bell rung, I was like, no way. And it's a shame they didn't have a match, but oh my God.
Because even Com's got that
for
wrong,
that.
didn't they? They were like, they've sanctioned the match. And they're like, no, they're trying to call it off. They're trying to get them to stop. But obviously, famously, Moxley has said that this is the match that he wants, isn't it? This is the reason why he wanted to go to Japan. And
I cannot think of a bigger dream match for me right now than these
Yeah,
two.
it's insane. What I really loved as well is after Minoru choked him out and sort of left, Moxley sort of came to, but was fighting one of the young lions because he thought it might have been Suzuki, and I thought that was brilliant.
I love John
Matt,
Moxley.
Really great character stuff.
John Moxley is incredible.
None of us have him in the draft.
The year he's had.
Yeah, that just shows.
I don't know if anyone has had a better 2019 than him.
Yeah, and it feels like his 2020 is going to be massive as well.
Well,
for sure.
The problem is, obviously, is that the first 4 months or however long it was of 2019, he wasn't doing anything, or he was just doing his farewell stuff. But then, as soon as we got those podcast appearances from him, those shoot interviews, and then he joined AEW. He's just been a revelation. He's such a different beast to Dean Ambrose.
Unbelievable.
And he's hard as nails, isn't he? He's so tough. And actually, I mean, rewinding a bit, Juice Robinson's the same. I not the same, but he's really tough as well. And I love the match that they had. What was it? What event was that? It was a New Japan event.
Was
that
G1?
G1?
Their second match was the G1. They had one before that, which was the one where Moxley won the title.
It was the one. I can't remember. It was quite a small venue. But I really enjoyed whichever match it was that I watched between the two of them, and I really enjoyed this one as well. It was just like a really good, fun, quick match.
Yeah,
I thought all the stuff with the chairs was really cool. There was the superplex into the jackhammer. I was a big fan of, and again, it just had the hot start with Juice jumping out the ring onto Mox as he was making his entrance. Just my kind of match, basically.
Really enjoyable match this, and best part of all, we saw the rarest thing you'll ever see in all of wrestling.
What?
It was a Gotch style pile driver that landed.
Yeah, I thought that. I was like, no way, he landed it.
Unbelievable. That's his one for the year.
Yeah, very nice. Okay, any other night 2 matches? Should we talk about Ibushi versus Jay White?
We've done that. Oh, we haven't done that, have we?
No.
The fourth best wrestler in New Japan match.
Yeah, that was basically the third place playoff.
Oh, I can't barely remember this match now, but it was good.
What I liked was at the start with when Jay White was almost targeting Ibushi's chest, which is nothing you really see, but where he chucked him into the railings a couple of times and then he smashed him down onto the edge of the ring on his chest. And I wondered if that was going to be an ongoing thing into the rest of the match. And then I guess it's not really a good area to target necessarily, but obviously this had the ref bump, Gedo getting involved again with the chair.
It was good though, because obviously Bushi did the sort of psycho Bushi bit.
Yeah.
Why Gedo was just kicking him in the chest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Psycho Ibushi is probably my favourite thing out of this whole weekend. It's so just threatening.
Yeah,
and do you know what?
Amazing.
I did really like this match though as well. Jay White when he did the straight jacket Bloody Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh,
any straight jacket move, I'm a fan of.
I really enjoyed Gedo shouting for the Kiwi Crusher.
Yeah. I thought that was Jay White shouting for his own move. Do you think that
was? I mean, that would be good heel work. But yeah.
But do you think Gedo just forgot where he was and actually that was him just booking? He was like, okay, Kiwi Crusher next. I said, oh God. Shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, maybe.
Jay White has got a great chair throw on him.
Oh, the one into Ibushi's face was a bit nasty though, wasn't it?
Great throw.
Straight into his chops.
I wasn't sure about him on the mic after to the American announce team. What was he even saying? It was really weird.
I'm not sure. I think he was just kind of like having a moment with Gambino, who's also part of the Bullet Club, and probably just sticking it to Rocky because those two hate each other.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it would be remiss for us to do a Wrestle Kingdom review or this podcast without us mentioning Jushin Thunder Liger.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this match actually.
Which one? The second night
What
one?
a legend.
I didn't watch the first night one. Only the second night one.
Okay.
Like,
I skipped through it.
It felt like, it's kind of like his best bits. Like that sort of double tilt-a-whirl backbreaker he did was pretty sweet. Although, Fujiwara came out of armbar fame. Why? What was his... For a moment, I thought he was tagging with them. I was like, oh my God, this guy's way too old to be...
70, isn't it?
I tell you what, the 8-man tag on night one, that was a who's who of like wrestling gods, like super famous, huge people, and the funky weapon Ryusuke Taguchi.
Oh God, the funky. I was going to say I haven't seen him for ages, and I hate him.
Man, every
boo.
time I don't
like
see him for ages, and
Taguchi.
then I'll always see a clip on Reddit of just him being absolutely hilarious. It's genuinely one of the funniest people in wrestling.
Yeah. Shall we just say, like, Jushin Thunder Liger is one of the all-time legends and has probably inspired millions of fans and wrestlers across the world because he travels so much. Like, I've seen him wrestle over here several times.
Yeah.
One of my first memories of wrestling was watching one of his matches when I was about 5.
Really? Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, on a videotape of all things.
A true pioneer. And he's still got it as well. Like, I think he looks great still.
Yeah, I think that's quite cool that he's gone out on his own terms, and it's not because he's too old or he's injured. You know, he could keep going.
I think WWE take notes. This is how to do a retirement.
I thought you were going to say, I think he's going to
and with a
turn up
celebration on the night after.
WWE, have another match with Tyler Breeze or something.
I wonder how old he is. He's 55.
Yeah.
Let's see how old the Undertaker is.
God. He's dead, so it doesn't matter how old he is. While John is
54.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
So he's older than Undertaker.
Okay. Well, that really does say something. Well done.
Yeah.
I'm impressed
Yeah,
now.
right?
I
Like,
wasn't
he's-
impressed at all, but now I am.
And he has wrestled non-stop, like, for decades and decades and decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations on a
Hero.
great career.
Wrestling hero.
Yes. Well done. You can go into our Hardest Part of the Ring Hall of Fame. That doesn't exist. But we did think about doing that at one point. And you never know, when we get desperate for other episode ideas, that
Yeah.
might come back.
If there was a Mount Rushmore of wrestling, his face would be on it 4 times.
I'd be quite... How would you...
If there was a masked wrestling
I'm
Mount,
not sure how the horns would work.
it would be Jushin, Toriano.
Oh, God.
Okay. Right. Well, anyway, I think we all need a few moments to...
Heidenreich.
Stop now. I think we all need a few moments to compose ourselves. Take a few moments to think about some of our favourite Jushin Thunder Liger moments. I think Matt Richards coming out to his entrance music at the Hardest Part of the Ring live show was one of
I
mine.
love that entrance music.
But yeah,
it's
so
great.
good.
Let's have a little break and then let's come back and talk about some negative stuff if we can.
Back first to the apron goes Andrade Cien Almas.
Okay, we're back and we're feeling better and we are ready to talk about worst of the rest. I mean, is there much to talk about? I think we all skipped potentially some of the matches that may have made it in, but any negatives you can think of at all?
I think the fact, because of our situation, because we have to cram it in to do the podcast, like 2 nights felt like they were trolling us.
Yeah.
And I feel like if it wasn't for the podcast, I would have really watched both of them from start to finish and really enjoyed it over a leisurely period of about 6 months. So that's a bit of a downer for me. Just that I just felt like I couldn't really sit down and enjoy it just because I had to cram it.
Yeah.
But this is the company that gives us the G1 climax.
Yeah,
which,
good point. Yeah.
you know, is even more in like no time. So yeah.
The one criticism I would have of Wrestle Kingdom this year is the fact that there was no huge surprises. It was very much a kind of punctuation point on a lot of the stories they'd been making. And normally New Year's Dash would be used to kind of set up new things. And I feel like maybe this year they didn't have any huge star debuting or any huge surprises.
What for?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, the Suzuki bit was a big surprise.
I mean, that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was my favourite moment of the night.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have any negatives apart from the same as John, but that's just our problem, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
too much to do. I think, yeah, if I'd had a free weekend and didn't have a family, then I would love to have just sat and watched loads of it, and it would have been cool, and even, you know, get together with mates or whatever, make a proper event of it. But
I think that's probably why I've enjoyed this so much. I had a lot of free time this weekend and watched a lot of wrestling.
yeah, nice. Okay,
It was all amazing though. Like, there was not a bad match. Not even an average match.
Yeah.
good. Let's move on to Star Performer then. Try and pick out one particular wrestler that we think deserves the accolade of the VIP for the whole event. Brett, have you got one lined up?
Well, obviously, I'm going for the insurrection pick in the draft that I think I've picked every year. Maybe I didn't pick one year, but it's finally coming to fruition. Is Naito?
Yeah, you've always loved him.
Obviously, the double champ.
Yeah, he's the champ.
Was he your episode 1 favourite wrestler?
He might have been mentioned. I don't think so, though.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Other than Bret Hart.
Yeah, I was going to say Bret Hart's the obvious, but I do think I mentioned Naito. Yeah, perhaps it was then.
My favourite current wrestler in episode 1 was Mark Haskins. Do you remember that?
Who? Hey-o.
Still doing stuff. John, star performer?
Yeah, it's got to be Naito as well. I was so gutted he didn't win it 2 years ago.
Yeah, same.
So it's great to see him with the belts.
Yeah. Sam?
All the belts.
Do you know what? I'm never going to get the chance to award it again to him. It's got to be Jushin Thunder Liger.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's nice. Very nice. I kind of wanted to say Will Ospreay, but considering he only wrestled one match
and lost.
It was an amazing match, though, and he is amazing.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't say we can't pick losers, because I'm going to pick the double loser, Kota Ibushi, because he's just always been an absolute favourite, and he just seems to be getting better and more crazy and stiffer, and not sure about his haircut, but I can forgive him that.
We could do an entire podcast on his physique.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I was going to say, I don't think I would tell him I think his haircut is mental.
No.
Does he speak much English?
He speaks with his fists.
Okay. Yeah, so that is my pick. Overall rank now. Now, this is a tough one.
Oh, this is going to be really hard. Really hard.
We're supposed to give the pay-per-view a score out of 10 and then work out how it compares to others. I kind of feel like I can't really give it a score because I didn't watch. Like, I literally watched 4 matches from both days. As in, like...
Yeah, I'm the same. I didn't have the time to watch all the pay-per-view.
What are we thinking? Sam, what do you reckon?
I had a score in mind before we podded, and having reviewed all of the matches, I kind of want to up it. But
I mean, if you and John can do a score, then we'll do it, and that can be the average.
Well, in my head, I've got to give this a 9.5. I thought this was a near perfect pay-per-view.
And you did watch a lot of it, right?
I watched all of it.
There we go.
I think if this was one night, it'd be a 10. But as it's 2, 9.5.
Shit. Okay.
Amazing.
I mean, you guys, you've watched enough of it to know the story of what's happened. And
oh, yeah. I mean, for me, it's 9 was where I was at. Just because 9, probably because, like, it's been 10 hours.
Yeah.
If it was all in, I know it couldn't be in one night because of the big storyline and stuff, and their matches were like everything I watched was amazing because it just is, and the level was amazing. But yeah, I'll go 9.
I guess that's the nice thing about it is that it wasn't just 2 days full of wrestling because they had to try and shove in all this stuff, but the fact that they had
there was a reason for it,
and then storylines going over. I definitely, I think it would have scored highly, but I think it would have lost a little bit because I just don't watch that much New Japan. So imagine if I'd known all the storylines and knew the backstories and things, then it would have scored extremely highly. But we'll stick it through as a 9.5. I think that's... do you want to... Are you going to give a 9, Brett?
Yeah, I'll give a 9.
are you going to give it a score, Adam?
No.
You sure?
Okay, I'll come in with an 8.
I think that's a fair result, to be fair. Right. You put me on the spot now to do quick maths.
I like the way I spend ages explaining why I'm not going to give a score
and then just throw one out
throw
there.
one in there.
Well, that can't be right.
So we had a 9.5.
I've just done it on my calculator and got a 10.5, and I'm like, what's wrong there?
Put it in.
Wow, that's the highest score we've had.
That is a solid 9 out of 10.
Ooh, solid
score.
9. That's amazing. Well, I think that goes in as the second best rated pay-per-view, just below NXT TakeOver New York 2019.
I tell you what, it's in good company.
Wrestle Kingdom 13 got an 8.6.
Wow.
From strength to strength.
Unbelievable. Okay, so we'd usually have a quick break, but we had one a little while ago, so let's skip that and go straight onto the listener comments with John.
Hi. Got listener comments.
Hi, John.
Did things a bit differently this week where we asked the top 3 moments from Wrestle Kingdom. So do you want to hear them?
I do.
Yes.
Great. So Loserweight, he says, can't pretend I watched it all, but Plastic Bag, EBD Claw, Jericho top rope air guitar, Kota Ibushi Psycho Killer.
Kiss say.
Nice. Could easily make a top 10 from Okada versus Ibushi though.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Good points. Broken but Glorious. So hard to only pick 3. Ospreay versus Takahashi was insert Homer Simpson drooling gif. Suzuki challenging Mox got me thinking Mox may not re-sign for AEW in May. Ooh. Yeah, because he's got a 1-year opt-out, hasn't he, I think?
Has he?
Why wouldn't he, though?
Yeah.
Like, he's basically... He's
I think he would.
It sounds like he's getting a lot of freedom and he's having a great time and he wants to be in America with his wife.
Yeah.
I mean, she was there at the weekend, wasn't she? But
Was she?
Oh!
yeah, did you see who grinded up against her?
Yes.
Session Moth got a picture.
Really?
I've got an amazing fact for you guys.
What?
Oh.
Do you know who Evil's girlfriend is?
No.
No.
Io Shirai.
No way.
Is it?
Yeah, they might be married. I'm not sure.
God, that is a long distance relationship, isn't it? Jesus.
Yeah. But it's kind of weird to Google Io Shirai evil because obviously that doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys,
But yeah.
halfway through list of comments.
Sorry, guys. So sorry.
go
Broken
back
but
to it.
glorious.
Last
We've
one
had
from
2.
him
Okay.
or them. Naito becoming both heavyweight champion and intercontinental champion.
Yeah, that was all right.
Yeah.
What a WrestleMania moment for him.
Scroobius Pip has been in touch. The real of Moxie's next opponent, looking at what a specimen of Bushi is, and Ospreay being Ospreay.
Yes.
Amazing.
Good choices there from Scroobius Pit. The reveal of Moxie's next opponent is definitely
Chills, mate, chills.
Yes.
chills, mate. Cool. Well, thank you very much to you guys for getting in touch. And as always, all the listeners, we got some nice messages over Christmas. Didn't we? We got a particularly nice one from Capital Clamface. So thank you very much for that.
I also had an email from Capital Clamface, and he's given some great ideas for the next quiz.
Oh, yeah. He said he had some ideas for that. And obviously that's going to be coming up
he is
soon.
much better at writing quiz ideas than I am.
Just get him to do the whole thing.
He might be.
Cool. Okay, so anything else to talk about? I don't think there is there? I think we should probably crack on with the ending. We're not going to do any extra features like 5 Forevers or anything because it's already been quite a long pod. Next podcast will be... We're going to go from Wrestle Kingdom to NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool.
Wow.
The Wrestling Kingdom of the North.
Oh man, I need to catch up on. I need to watch some NXT UK.
I was going to say,
going and
John, you
blind on
can't
this.
catch up on all of it before next weekend. That's going to be insane.
Me going into NXT UK TakeOver is like Adam coming into a Wrestle Kingdom pod. It's just going to be, I don't know any of these people.
Wow, a
Let's
bit.
review it.
But I do listen to occasionally I listen to some other wrestling podcasts and they talk about New Japan stuff. So every so often I have a bit of an idea of who's doing well, who's getting over. NXT UK, I pretty much have no idea. I did used to try and keep up by reading the results, but I've got no idea. But I think what we've got to do is go in with a blank slate. I think we enjoyed the last takeover.
Yeah.
I think we've enjoyed quite a few of the bigger matches. The only downside I've just seen is that Mark Coffey is in the main event again.
Oh God, really?
Against Walter.
Still banging that drum.
Yeah, Walter might kill him, so...
But I think we're going to see...
Coffee beats Walter. I'm cancelling my subscription.
we're also going to see Jordan Devlin versus Tyler Bates. So, there's going to be some good stuff.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Is Alexander Wolf versus oh god, what's his name?
Well,
Crazy Eyes.
Imperium are in a 4-way ladder match.
Dragunov.
No, that was last week, wasn't it? Or that was on TV.
Was it?
Yeah. Anyway, there's all sorts of crazy stuff happening, and I'm looking forward to watching it actually because you never know, we might be surprised. And what I'm most interested in, I'm hoping that they'll have some decent packages that get us pumped up for the matches because otherwise we're going to have no idea what's happening.
Might try and watch.
Shall we do an early prediction now? Who will be the token WWE star,
Ooh.
main roster person who'll turn up.
We've had Cesaro, we've had Finn Balor.
Sheamus.
He's back, isn't he? I think.
Sheamus is back. Yeah, someone.
Titus
like that.
O'Neil. Oh, you know who came out as a Raw yesterday? Well, it's the Big Show. Maybe he makes an appearance. Get him on a plane.
And with that big bombshell, it's not the end. Brett, how do people get in touch?
They can send their emails to hardestpartofthering@gmail.com. They can check out our social media, which is at hardestpartpod on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. And they should just ignore our shop for a bit till we change stuff up.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Always the salesman. Thank you very much to everybody for listening and bearing with us during this difficult Christmas period with no podcasts. We will be back next week, but until then, it's goodbye from me, Adam. Goodbye to you, Sam.
Oh my God, he's in some kind of fugue state.
Goodbye to you, John.
Goodbye.
And goodbye, Brett.
Goodbye.
That was the hardest part of the ring.
That is the hardest part of that ring. On the hardest